Buff Nation, what's going on? Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. You saw the news yesterday, last night and evening. We got our punter, and so I'm going to talk a little bit about him. Y'all, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. But I love the fact that we're bringing in another Aussie punter. Kind of funny how this whole thing worked out. Mark Vassett out of eligibility now, so we've had to find somebody else that's going to take over punting duties on special teams. You would have thought that we would have been able to get a good scouting report on him when we went to Arrowhead Stadium to play the Kansas Jayhawks, but strangely, our defense didn't get the punting unit out on the field once against the Jayhawks with um, Damon's parents in attendance all the way from Australia. But I really love the fact that he's coming out here. So, just a little bit about him. Uh, this guy's a former Australian rules football player professionally, still very young, 24 years old right now. But let me pull up his Wikipedia here. I think this is really cool how we're getting somebody that, yes, is definitely one of those Australian, another Aussie type punter, just like Mark Vassett. But he played for the Hawthorn. Where was it? Hawthorn Football Club in Australia, rugby for a few years, and then in 2022 started training for American football. Came out to Kansas, I believe, in 2023 and punted for them the last few years. So, yeah, he's an older player a little bit as well. But because you're playing Australian rules football, I mean, you can get out there as you see here with like the photos here. You can see that that he's a little physical, man. So that's nice. He might be able to help us out if, God forbid, something happens to where we need him for a tackle. I think he's a little bit more physical than maybe what you see with certain American punters, right? But let's get into what he did this year in the punting game. Let me go ahead and get over here. So 6'1", 185. You see that he definitely did take a jump in terms of his productivity for the most part this past year. So you see in 2023, he went from 39 yards per attempt on his punt to essentially 42. So a gain of just a little under 3 yards per attempt, which is nice. Coverage unit didn't seem to be as good. Went from 39 yards net to 35, but that might have been a little bit outside of his control. 6 punts inside the 20. We'll see how things go. 33% of his punts were returned with an average hang time of 3.83 seconds. So yeah, we'll have to see. What I love here is that 33 attempts, only 2 were touchbacks. That's really, really important. You don't want to be given the opposing offense, fine field position at the 20 or beyond. So I love to see that. Now, if we're going to say, okay, how does he compare to Mark Vassett? I think, hey, when you look at the statistics, not necessarily as great as Mark Vassett was over, his senior year here for CU. You can see he averaged almost 44 yards per attempt. The net was also a little bit higher. Still only 2 touchbacks as well on 49 punts. So that's really nice. Even though I still remember some shanks, I guess, that Mark Vassett had. I guess that, overall he had a really good year, 3.9 seconds per hang time. And that's important. So I think that, yeah, if you're looking at the ratings or the grades here for PFF, Mark Vassett had a grade of 80.4 this year. We go back here, Damon Greaves had 71.2, but I think we're also getting a player here with Damon Greaves that also has a couple more years to develop. And I think that's what you saw with Mark Vassett as well. Once he got into his junior and senior year, he definitely had the best years of his career for Colorado, which I think is really, really solid. So I think that, hey, he's going to be here in the strength, nutrition, all that. Hopefully, he can continue to develop his leg, and he's going to have the best years of his career moving forward. So I think that this is great. I would imagine right now, just kind of how I would project things out, that Damon Greaves, he's going to be a solid punter for us, just like Mark Vassett was. So hopefully, again, we can see that hang time increase for Greaves, and overall, just seeing that yards per average or yards per attempt go up. Now, I think like one thing that is in his favor, again, Mark Vassett had about 44 yards per attempt this year on average, and that's because half of his games also are at altitude, 5,400 feet above sea level. So I definitely see Damon Greaves increasing the yards per attempt on his punts, and having better hang time stats and everything like that, because you truly have to factor that in with him coming out to Boulder, having just played at sea level throughout his college career. So I think that this is a great addition. I love to see the fact that I feel like we got all of our special teams specialists now locked in. We're going to have Damon Greaves handle the punting. We're going to have Mata handle the majority of the place kicking. And then we'll see who does kickoffs. That will be between Elliot Arnold and Buck Buchanan, as well as who handles those field goal attempts from 45 yards beyond. That's either going to be Buck Buchanan or Elliot Arnold. So I think that there's a lot of great competition. And who knows, maybe Gerlach or Stojanovic are walk-on freshmen this year. They're going to continue to develop physically, and their leg strength is going to increase as well. So maybe one of those guys, earns one of these specialist roles next year. But right now, hey, special teams, I think is locked down. In terms of who's going to be the returner this year on punt return kickoff, I got no idea, but you guys know that we're never short of skill positions. So I really love to see Damon Greaves here. We don't have to worry about special teams anymore. All that stuff is locked on now. And in case you guys need a reminder, let's just walk through this. We got 9 transfers right now. Damon Greaves, Caden Salter, quarterback, who him and Julian Lewis will compete for each other for the starting position. Makari Vickers will be playing safety here, and probably some nickel or slot. Gabrielle Lightfoot, defensive line. Reginald Hughes, linebacker. Again, spoke to Buck Buchanan. Zach Atkins right now, 6'4", 240. Definitely in line to be our starting tight end, but I would love for us to bring probably another 2 to 3 tight ends in via the transfer portal, because I don't want to have to rely on any freshman tight ends this year. Of course, if they end up working their way into playing time, that's always a plus, but you never want to assume that they're just going to come in and crush it. Let's get some veteran tight ends. We have a veteran tight end visiting from Kentucky. I believe 6'5", 250. His name is skipping my mind right now, but I talked about him yesterday. Jaheim Otis, of course, #1 defensive lineman in the portal. He's going to be fantastic for us. And then Carter Miller, somebody who can start at both center and guard, and he's going to be competing for a starting role. And hey, congratulations to Nakai Hill-Green. We almost worked out a trade, right? He goes to Alabama, and we grab Jaheim Otis. So we'll see who else is brought in at the linebacker position. Again, we do have Joseph Williams visiting this weekend, wide receiver from Tulsa, currently committed to Utah, as well as Ethan O'Connor, cornerback from Wazoo, who had a really good freshman season this year. And then we also have starting safety caliber Tafik Bayard from USF visiting. So we got 4 guys. Can we grab 2, 3, 4 of these guys this weekend to commit to the Buffs? That's my hope. And hopefully we'll have some more to talk about right now, soon as this weekend develops with the Buffs. But love to see, man. We got special teams locked down. Now we can focus on the positions of need on the offense and defense, which, we know what those are. We're talking about offensive line, tight end, running back. I still think we need some veteran wide receivers in here as well. And then on the defensive side of things, let's continue to bolster up that front 7, the linebacker core, and continue to get more DBs. I feel like while we can be a little bit more targeted this year with who we're bringing in, I think we have a much better foundation set than where we were at 2 years ago or even coming into this time last year. But we still need all the talent and depth that we can get. So I think that this is a wonderful primer for what's going to happen here with the transfer portal. Now that these bowl games are being played, you're going to see I think that some of the best talents is still yet to come when it comes to guys entering the portal and hopefully a lot of them committing to CU. So maybe 9 right now. This very well could just be the first quarter of the guys that we bring in, or third of the guys that we bring in. Yeah, you gotta love what is going on right now. Y'all be sure to smash that like as well. I'll get to a few of your comments. I'm not going to keep you guys too long. Maybe I will watch this Texas Longhorns Clemson game all the way through. Notre Dame, man, just absolutely destroyed Indiana. It was very weird to see Coach Sig talk all that smack and then just come out and not, like, he gave up on his team. I felt like there in the fourth quarter, punting, down 3 scores. And maybe if you didn't do that, they could have tied it up there at the end. And then this morning, you see that Penn State's defense was just unreal against SMU. And that Penn State Boise State matchup sure is going to be an interesting one, right? So let's hope we can get some more competitive games with the college football playoff right now. It's been a little bit of a bummer to see a couple blowouts. Shirley, hope you're doing well. Happy Saturday, Tiffany. Northside, what's going on? Belinda Sneed, we definitely need a solid punter for next year. Auntie approved. Hey, I love to see it. And again, we got a guy that when you're looking at his statistics, truly you have to give him a bump now that he's going to be playing half the year above sea level, in Boulder, because that's what also helped Mark Vassett have the best years of his career as well. So I think it's great that he realizes this opportunity to play in altitude is nothing but a great opportunity. And I think it's cool we're continuing the Aussies coming out here to punt for us. I think that's cool. And let's make sure that we fly his parents in here for a game or two next year. And although it would be ideal that we never see him on the field because our offense is just rolling, but we got to give his parents the opportunity to see him play. But played 3 years of professional rugby, so I think that's cool. That he can be a little bit physical. An interception here from no, is that a catch there from Texas or an interception? Crazy, man. Yeah, Keith, still need offensive lineman, right tackle, right guard. You're absolutely right. I imagine we'll start seeing news about that at some point over the next month or so, because we're not going to go in with the room we got right now. Buddy, what's going on? Sco Buffs, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, this was really cool, Shirley. Travis and Shador doing warm-ups with the CU basketball team. Travis being honored for his Heisman at the game. That was really, really cool. And be sure to check out the photos on CU's Facebook page or Instagram or Twitter. They're all over there, man. It's yeah, it's really cool, man. Hey, what's going on? Sco Buffs, Fly Guy, Texas Two Step. Hey, Dave, dang, I didn't hear about the punter. Yes, he good for us? Yeah. We had no punters right now, so that's always nice. And I guess in an emergency scenario, you could see Buck Buchanan punt, but he was originally like a punter, I guess, coming into college, punter kicker, but hasn't been able to do any punting. He's just been place kicking. So, yeah. Exactly, Brent. This is the first quarter of the portal. The spring team's going to look a lot different. Yeah, in the summer. So we're ways away. Yeah, this is just the primer. So if we can start filling some of these holes this early right now, again, Wazoo doesn't have any transfer portal commits right now. By the way, man, it really stung to see Quentin Joyner, running back from USC, commit to Texas Tech. I mean, they're throwing around that oil money quite a bit right now, right? They're going to be interesting to pay attention to as the portal season goes on right now. Little bucket, but again, just, there's no need to freak out right now. I think that you're going to see the best linebackers enter the portal here as the college football playoff season's running, running its course. Same with linebacker, offensive line. These are the deepest teams in college football. These are the best teams in college football right now. So, and again, Lil Bucket, look into Reginald Hughes. If you were excited about Nakai Hill Green coming out here last spring, you're going to love Reginald Hughes. Nakai Hill Green wasn't an all conference player when he played at Charlotte, if I remember correctly. You know who was? Reginald Hughes was at Jacksonville State for Conference USA or Sun Belt. I always get confused, but he's first team all conference. So coming out here to play in the Big 12, I think that he's going to have a great year. And yeah, again, we can't really comment too much. Just like wide receiver, it's like, man, I wish that we would have an elite veteran wide receiver coming in here. We're going to get the wide receiver experience that we need, no doubt about it. But again, this is the first quarter of the transfer portal. This is like preseason transfer portal season. So, yeah. Let's see here. With our play style, why can't we get any wide receiver? Man, hey, I hope that we can get at least one of the guys between Joseph Williams. I guess Eric Rivers is off the visitation list now that he's committed to Georgia Tech. Maybe that could change. Or Kevin Concepcion. Come on, Kevin. You really want to go to the weird College Station? It's like a cult down there. Come on now. Hopefully he chooses to come out here, but we'll just have to see. But I think that there's still going to be plenty of wide receivers that we can get. I don't know them. I don't know all the names in the transfer portal right now, but what I do know, Jay, is that we've had a lot of success bringing in wide receivers from the G5 position if we have to go back that route. So, anyways, guys, yeah, we're gonna get depth at all these positions again, guys. We'll probably bring in 30-ish transfers or so, 30 to 40 transfers. I doubt we bring in over 40. I think that would be absolutely crazy. But a third of the roster, generally speaking, is going to flip over every year, and so this is just the start. So, yeah, I think we will be getting the depth that we need. We're going to be fine. And it's nice that, again, we do have some guys that are going to come in their second year in the defense. Kyron Garcia. We also have Jalen Wester. I thought that he was good in his limited snaps this year. I mean, he made some big time plays for us at UCF when he got on the field. So, yeah, we'll have to see. But guys, I'm going to wrap this thing up, keep it a little bit short. I will be back if we have any transfer portal news this weekend. Until then, guys, enjoy the NFL, enjoy the college football playoff. I'll be back soon. Let's go Buffs.